channel.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
Welcome everyone to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. This is my co-host,
Mr. J. How's it going, guys? And we would like to remind you, if you enjoy this channel or you like our videos, go in the section below. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah. And without further ado, we decided to do something a little interesting. Bum, 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 bum. So we decided we're gonna put two characters that are from an interesting franchise, the Rocky franchise. So I'm gonna be starting things off by representing Adonis Creed from the Rocky franchise.
It's all about today.
Or I guess the Creed franchise. I don't know, whichever way you want to call it, because he comes from the Creed. Then there's Rocky's, but it's not Rocky's story; it's Creed's story, but Rocky's in it. So it's a little bit here and there. But anyways, let's get into the brief origin story, shall we? All right, so let's get into the brief origin story. Adonis Creed starts off not knowing that he's a Creed. He actually starts off childhood with his mom, and he actually has a rough go at it. Eventually, his mom passes away, and then he winds up in jail, or he's almost in juvenile hall for life. And then the widow of Apollo shows up and decides to adopt him. Now, if you're confused, Adonis was the mother. I mean, I guess the son of a woman that Apollo had fallen for, but they weren't actually like married and all that stuff. I guess it was like an affair. I'm guessing that's how the story is. But anyways, yeah. So the widow adopts Adonis, gives him a second chance in life. And instead of, going into school and becoming some kind of Harvard graduate, he says, nah, I want to follow in my father's footsteps and become a professional fighter. She doesn't really approve of it, but he decides to go to Philly anyways and actually learn from one of the greatest of all time, the man from Philly himself, Rocky Balboa. So Rocky says, all right, after a while, I'll train you. And he trains him, and eventually Creed gets known, his name gets dropped, and they give him a chance at the main event with the heavyweight champion, whose name is Collins at the time, who has never been knocked down. So Creed takes on the challenge because, hey, this is a big opportunity. But of course, as he's about to face his opponent, he gets a lot of psych outs. For example, the media is calling him fake Creed, that he doesn't have a chance. He's just getting the opportunity because he's privileged or because of his name and yada, yada, yada. So he has to kind of shut all of them down during this one fight, and he proves himself by knocking down Collins. He doesn't win the fight, but he does win his respect. And that is the brief origin story of Adonis Creed. Powers, abilities, and feats. No powers, but let's talk about the feats and abilities. Okay. One, there's not a lot for Apollo. Adonis. Let's be fair, because he only had so far 2 movies. There's a 3rd movie coming out. It looks pretty interesting, but until that movie comes, he's only got a few on his record. So let's talk about the fact, again, he knocked out Collins, the heavyweight champion of the world. Okay, who's never been done before. Collins has never been knocked out, which has to say something. He defeated the son of the man who killed his father, Drago. Okay, he beat him. Okay, Drago's father had to throw in the towel for him, okay? Because he was like, you're getting beat, bro. My son's getting beaten. No, I'm not doing this no more. And Creed won that fight. Even though he had a broken rib, even though he looked like his head was like almost split into dizziness, he still threw down and won the fight. So there are those 2 impressive feats to go on there. Talk about the end game here. So Apollo beat Rocky the first time. So there is an argument to be made that Adonis could do the same. If Apollo did it, Adonis could do it. Another thing to consider is that this is a little bit technical, but Adonis learned from Rocky. So young Rock versus Creed, who has the experience of Rocky Balboa's wisdom, he doesn't have a shot. I do believe that Creed learned a lot from Rocky, and Rocky's experience during the times that he's actually fought against, compared to young Rock, he's got a lot more in his knowledge, a lot more in his utility belt. If you remember, there was a moment where Drago had Creed down for a moment, and Creed was about to get up, but Rocky was like, no, stay down, breathe, take in the moments, let it get to 8, and then get back up. It's like telling him to reserve his energy. It's all that knowledge that helps Adonis to kind of have the upper advantage against someone who's a little more young and reckless. Okay, another thing to consider is, yes, Rocky fought Drago as well, and Drago's son, Drago, fought Adonis or Creed as well. But here's the kicker. Adonis had much more, I think, pain thrown at him. Granted, Rocky psychologically after that fight could never get into a ring like a normal person ever again. But if you saw the fight against Drago and Creed, you could see that Creed took a lot more beating. He took a hit in the rib that really damaged his rib cage to a point where he couldn't even get up. He was almost to a point where he was about to pass out or die. But instead of giving up, he says to himself, nah, and just starts pouncing on the floor and getting himself back up. That determination that Adonis has, even through a tremendous amount of pain being inflicted on him, to keep going, it just kind of reassures you that he's going to continue the round until it ends. Now, I think if he finishes the round till it ends, I think he has it in the bag. Rocky doesn't win by technicality in some essence. He likes to kind of win through a knockout in some ways. I do believe that Creed could win through numbers in that kind of way. Another thing to consider, last thing I'll put out, is that one referee had said this during a fight. Creed hits like Apollo force from the upper level, hitting him in the face. He hits like with his might. The bottom, he hits like Balboa, working on the body. Having those two combination of fighting style tactics combined together makes you an unstoppable force. Rocky Balboa's ability to work the body and having that in your teachings, along with Apollo's full strength of throwing down with the might in the face, I gotta say, makes you the ultimate weapon, making young Rock in the world of trouble, giving Adonis Creed the victory.
Okay, and as he has mentioned, my contestant today will be none other than Rocky Balboa himself.
I don't believe it!
Young Rock. Get out, Rocco.
This can be an interesting fight for sure. I want to say you have to push it past a little bit because just for the fact of, you have to take into the fact of this, Rocky had 6 movies, Adonis only has had 2 so far, with the third is coming out. However, you do need to take into consideration every opponent that Rocky has faced. Apollo Creed, Adonis' father, as he has mentioned. However, he has also fought someone who is a lot more vicious than Adonis in the, Clubber Lang in the third movie.
Yeah, he was bad to the bone.
Clubber Lang was extremely strong, extremely hungry, and just ruthless. Just no care in the world. All he wanted to do was beat Rocky, and he did. However, Rocky was able to go, train. He learned from Apollo Creed himself.
Yeah.
So it gave him a new style. It gave him more speed. It gave him the adaptability. And it gave him a bit of a better jab, I want to say. A lot of people don't realize that, and especially in a boxing match, the jab is one of the most important punches you have. It allows you to dictate the distance and the pace of the fight. And it just allows you to measure where your opponent is and how far you need to be from it. Anyway, taking that into consideration, Rocky is going to be extremely difficult for Adonis to take down, especially considering the beating he took against Ivan Drago. I think you undersold a little bit just how much damage Rocky really took. It was a psychological beating, yes, but it was also quite physical. The fight was extremely gritty, extremely hard-hitting. Rocky basically had to retire after that fight. He had been hit in the head so many times, so many heavy blows. I don't remember Ivan Drago's punch force,
but he was on steroids, so let's just keep that in mind. Not only did he just was on normal punch, he was on some kind of special steroid that gave him that extra juice he needed. So Rocky, all natural, And Ivan was a machine.
And definitely a lot smaller. Rocky was definitely, especially for a heavyweight, extremely small. Only about maybe 200, 202 pounds. And I think after the first movie, the second one, he had cut weight. I think the bottom limit for heavyweight in the boxing division is about maybe 200 pounds. I'm not 100%. But anyway, Rocky slimmed down. He got that bounce in his step, like I had said. However, he was still able to beat Drago. And he still had fights after that, beating Tommy Gunn, who was another
street fight, yeah.
Yeah, another protege of his. So Rocky has the experience. He's used to having to fight younger people and stronger people, as well as people who are much faster than himself. So I want to say there's really not much Adonis can do to take Rocky out. I want to say Adonis's key to victory in this fight would be to make the fight go long, take it into the later rounds, use his speed, use his distance, and just try to win basically by points. Because if he doesn't stay away, honestly, I think the force that Rocky can unleash upon you or his opponent would be too much for Adonis. His work on the body, like you had mentioned earlier, it is ruthless. And if he hits Adonis in the body, and he's able to break his rib, he's not going to slow down, and he's gonna take the air out of his lungs, and he's gonna force him to go down. The one boxer, I believe it was Smokin' Joe Frazier, said, "You kill the body, and the head will follow." So
that's true.
The key to Rocky's victory is he's gonna have to knock him out, keep him in the corner, don't allow him to use his distance or his speed, and just brutalize him. He's just gonna have to treat him like that big piece of meat in the first movie and just tenderize him. Yeah.
Go for the body, Rocco.
Yeah. If he definitely keeps Adonis in the corner and doesn't allow Adonis to move, I want to say maybe a hook or an uppercut after a good work to the body, and Adonis is done. Maybe about, I'd say 5 rounds. Maybe 5th round knockout.
And he says he wants more.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't really agree with that 100%, but it's not up to me as always. And it's not up to my boy. It's up to you guys. And if you guys like my argument, you know what you can do? You can hashtag Creed? Yeah, let's go with Creed. And if you like my boy's argument, what can you do, brother?
Hashtag Rocky.
As always, no press fan. We really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later.